Hello, beautiful world. Life. Gotta love it. Well, I'm loving it and I'm learning to love it even more. But today I wanted to talk about living in a house and wishing for it to crumble. I went into first the body, right? And I took notes so it'll be easier. The first house we have is the body, right? And then I started asking questions like, how do we talk to the body? Um, how do we care for the body? And how do we nourish the body? So the first house we have is the body, but it's also a reflection of our outer world and the world we live in. So how can you live in a house and wish for its demise? So if we go with the body first and then we go to the outer world, which is like maybe the area we live in, the country we live in, and then we go into the world we live in, right? So I thought about it and I'm like, how do we talk to ourselves? How do we talk to ourselves? Do we talk to ourselves in a positive light or a negative light? Or are we sometimes neutral, like we just don't care how we come across? But some care have to be there, right? You have to have some care regardless. But most of us, if we're not being that shield, that guard at the temple, then anything can pass through. And so we pick up things along the way and we carry it on. In my life, I know that I've picked up things from my siblings, my parents, from relatives, from friends, from schoolmates. And some of these things are good and some were not so good. But in carrying them on, after I've realized that, wow, this thought or this pattern is not originally myself. I picked it up from somewhere. Is it benefiting me right now or is it to my demise? See, if it's benefiting me, I want to keep it. If it's to my demise, my death, I need to let it go because I'm choosing life. And we have to choose life in this period. Because in choosing life, you give life all around you. You'll radiate life. You'll radiate energy and love. And so people will want to know, what are you doing to bring this type of life into the world? And I have to say, it does start with the mind. I feed my mind positive thoughts. I remember in 2006 is when I decided that I'm gonna speak positive and I'm gonna write positive things regardless. Yes, it's been a journey for me, but a journey I wouldn't change for anything because I've learned so much along the way. I've met so many people along the way, and it's one of those things where I can say every man is my teacher. And I can also say I'm every man's teacher. I'm also a student and they're also a student. And in this journey which we call life, it is beautiful when we embrace the differences or the similarities and we enjoy each other as we are. So the first house we have is the body. So after realizing like, okay, my thoughts? How am I talking to my body? And I decided that I would be positive. The next step for me was, how am I taking care of the body? And so, in taking care, it doesn't mean just like daily refreshments of reviving the temple or keeping it clean, right? Taking care also means exercise. So I got into a routine. I used to run quite a bit. I still do. And in my journey of running, again, I met a lot of beautiful people. One lady in particular stopped me in a moment when things seemed like they were just continuing, like a repetitious day, like a Groundhog's Day, when it's just over and over. And something happened to me where bursts of energy started radiating from myself. And that was the first time I felt energy come from within myself and out and go out. It radiated out. And I was a little bit scared. I'm like, what is this? What's going on? But eventually I calmed back down, came into myself, and I realized that some things books really can't explain to you. You know, you have to go within yourself and start asking those questions. And I did. So my journey on taking care of the body is something that I really enjoy. I don't recommend it for a lot of people, but I became a strict vegetarian in 2004 when I was pregnant with my second child. And so implementing a lot of fruits and vegetables also helps. So that's in taking care of the temple. And in taking care of the temple and making sure we have vital foods and the energy to go with it, we have to make sure we are preparing. So preparation is also key. So with the mind and then the body, preparation is key. Okay? We have to do the work, right? And in order to do the work, we have to put our minds in a different state. So we have to elevate into a different way of thinking, of being. Not everything mama did, or daddy did, or grandpa or grandma did is going to work for you in this time. So you have to do what works best for you. We have more technology these days. We have easier access to a lot of things that our foreparents didn't. So we have to take advantage of that and use it to the best of our ability in order to go further, go farther. And so it was taking care, it was thought, taking care, and nourishing the body. So in nourishing my body, I have decided that I wouldn't eat animal products. I wouldn't eat things that died or shed their blood in order to fuel my essence. You could also look at it as like, okay, well, the plants are giving up their life to nourish my essence. But it's a different kind, you know, especially if you're giving thanks. And not to say you wouldn't give thanks for the animals that died to put food on your table or to sustain you in the way that you're wanting right now. But living a life that is cruel-free is a more enjoyable life, I believe. Well, I know that's my experience. That's my reality. But how can you live in a house and wish for its demise? So we talk about our bodies, but now let's go into the country we live in, the province we live in, the area we live in. How can you live in a house and wish for its death and wish for destruction? Who does that? Why would you do that? If you live in an area, you should live and wish for it to prosper, because your word that proceeds out of your mouth, it does not come back to you void. It has power, and it's even amplified when you have others that share the same view. Live in a world where you want prosperity, where you want abundance. You cannot say an area that you live in is wicked if you live in that area. No, it is not the area. It is beings, human beings, that decide that they're going to do an act to tear down or to pull down a certain area or certain things. An area by itself, a country by itself, is not wicked. We have to realize that we are the change. And if we don't change, first in thought, actions, and behavior, then it continues. How can you live in a house and wish for its demise? Think about it. If we're creating and we create together on a different scale, and if I have a vision and then I have others that share in that vision and we bring it to fruition, it can be beautiful if it's a beautiful vision. But then again, it's the perception of whoever has that vision. It might be good for me, but not so for you. But if we're thinking about the whole, the planet itself, Earth, and we're like, we all live here, we all want to benefit, we all want to share in the abundance and the bounty, right? We all want to share in heaven here on earth now. So how do we bring it? How do we bring heaven on earth? It starts with us. We, creators, beautiful creators. It starts with us. We have to be the light. We have to be the example. We have to lead the way. So, to all my beautiful creators out there with good intentions, or with intentions to uplift, to see the greater good in each of us, keep creating out there. Peace.